Hi, welcome to Center Stage Guitar Academy. In this lesson, we're going to be learning Enter Sandman by Metallica. So the song starts out with a clean kind of guitar sound. With that pattern. If you have some chorus, a chorus pedal, or a flanger, you can put that on there too. It might kind of make it sound more like the record. The song is based out of E minor, and this riff kind of is outlining an E minor chord. So we're going to start with an open E, and we're going to keep our third finger on the 7th fret of the A string this entire pattern. So we're going to start with open E, and then the 7th fret of the A string. Then we're going to hit an open G. Then we're going to come down here and play the 6th fret of the low E string with our 2nd finger, and then the 5th fret with our 1st finger. And then to end the phrase, we're going to come back and hit the 7th fret of the A string. Just in that rhythm. And then that phrase just repeats. So practice that a few times, get used to it. And now we're going to move into what Kirk Hammett is doing during that part. And he's basically just letting an E minor chord ring out, and he's got a wah pedal, and he's kind of, wahing it. But basically it's an E minor chord, but he really plays the higher notes. So I would do the 2nd fret on the D string, and then the open G, B, and E. He just kind of lets that ring out every couple bars. Okay, so when the drums kick in, then we move into our that part. So that starts with a big fat E5 power chord. So, and then we're going to be doing 8th note palm mutes on the low E string. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and on the last and of the bar, you slide from the 5th fret of the A string to the 7th fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, after you do that 4 times, then a new phrase starts. And it's open, open, and then that same slide from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. And then you hit the 6th fret of the E string. And that's 3 more open palm mutes. 2, 3. On the and a 4, we're going to hit this F power chord. So that's 1st fret, 1st finger, and then on the A string, your 3rd fret, 3rd finger. Okay, now we're going to add another note to the riff. It's all 8th notes. We're going to go add the 5th fret of the E string. So now it's open, open, slide, 6th fret, 5th fret, open, open, F. When we hit those power chords, those are not palm muted. You want that open. So the whole intro, nice and slow. Okay, and then right there, we're going to move into the main riff of the song, which is E5. Two hits on E5. We're going to slide up from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. 6th fret E string, 5th fret E string, with a little bit of vibrato. Does that 3 times. On the 4th time, we do this other little riff. Okay, and that is G power chord on the 3rd fret here, with an open E palm mute in between all these chords. Open E, open E. So G, open E, F sharp, on the 2nd fret F sharp, hit open E again, back to F sharp, then you go right to the back to the G power chord, back to the F sharp, back to our E. So okay, so it does that 3-4 times. Now we're into our verse. Pretty simple verse. Again, it's 8th notes. On the E5. And then on the the and of 4 at the end of every bar, or every 2 bars, we do this F, the F power chord. And that is not palm muted. You let that ring out, so it's... Right there leads us into the pre-chorus. And it's basically the same as the intro, kinda. It's just moved up a whole step to F sharp. So it's F sharp, 2nd fret of the low E string. We play the octave on the 4th fret of the D string. 2nd fret G string. 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret A string. And you go back to the octave, the 4th fret of the D string. It repeats that. On the 4th one, after the 4th one, now we're into our chorus. Real simple chorus. It's G sharp power chord to C, which is 3rd fret of the A string. You slide that back to the B. And then to our E5. So it's 3 times with the... When you go to E, then you do it 1 more time. And then you do the riff on the G. Which is the same as the one that's in the verse there. So... he goes back to the main riff. Alright, so going back to the chorus, there is this little riff that Kirk Hammett plays in there that's in between when they're letting that E5 ring out. There's two different little riffs, so we're going in the chorus. Those two riffs. You can actually play, but they're really two different parts. James Hetfield's probably playing that thing, and Kirk Hammett comes in with that riff. Okay, so the riff over the E5 in the chorus is based out of E minor. But he's kind of using the, if you remember your modes that we've learned so far, he's using the Dorian fingering. So if we're in E minor, right, and then we know the relative majors, G major, and then the next degree is Dorian, and that's A Dorian. So that's kind of the fingering he's using. A Dorian, same as E minor. So he starts by sliding up to the 7th fret on the A string, hitting the 5th fret of the D string, and then back to the 7th fret of the A string. And it's all kind of palm muted back here. Okay, then he comes down and hits the 7th fret of the D string, and then back to the 7th fret of the A string. Then he comes and he hits the 4th fret of the G string to the 5th fret of the D string. Okay. Okay, the second one is very similar. He slides on the 7th fret, but instead of hitting the 5th fret, he's going to hit the 4th fret on the D string. Then he's going to hit the 5th fret. So it's 7th fret D string, 7th fret A string, 4th fret D string, back to the 7th fret A string, 5th fret D string, and then back to the 7th fret A string. Then the 7th fret D string, and end on the 7th fret A string. So real slow. Okay? And then the second one. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The solo is, the rhythm under the solo is basically the main riff. Then he goes into the pre-chorus thing. And then the chorus. And then it does a little, the bridge. I think they used basically the intro thing. So that's pretty much it. There's a couple little licks and stuff and solo in there that Kirk Hammett does that we'll get into later in another lesson, but that's pretty much it. So that's Enter Sandman by Metallica.